Welcome to the Militia Gaming Podcast. I'm Trigger Militia. On my right, the New Yorker, Bag Teeter, and on my left, your car's doo-doo because he drives a Subaru, Phteven with a PH Militia. Let's go. What's up, guys? How'd you like your introductions? That's the first question on today's podcast.
It's pretty sweet, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty sweet.
I mean,
it's a fact. Your car is doo-doo.
My car is doo-doo, or Teeter's car is doo-doo.
I don't know.
You can't call my car doo-doo. We're from Japan.
I actually like both your cars.
Thank you.
Facts. I like both of my cars also. The second one is not mine, actually. It's Stacy's, and it's a...
Stacy's car is my favorite.
I know.
What was with that New Yorker?
I don't know.
Accent?
It's just... I don't know, man. I just going for something. And then next podcast, I'll probably come up with some new intro for you guys. But that's all I could think of. Like, you know, it was on short notice, you know?
Yeah.
So... Anyway, what have you guys been up to? What have you been playing the last month? Let me know.
Well, probably Apex and Destiny 2's new DLC, Shadowkeep.
Nice. So, in Apex, I just have a question about Apex since we've already got on that topic. We're not gonna go too deep because we're gonna talk about Apex a little later in the show, but tell me your thoughts on the charge rifle right now. Just quick one line.
Trash.
It didn't even deserve a line. It was just one word.
I don't know. I like it when I have it.
Right. Kyle, what you been playing the last month or so?
Oh man, I've been playing all kinds of stuff from Doom to different puzzle games. Borderlands. I mean, for a while we ran through a bunch of the Gears of Wars.
That's right. We played. I stayed home on a Saturday. I stayed home, like I had anywhere to go. I was off on Saturday, and we just played all day. We literally started with the first Gears of War, and then played for like nearly 18 hours straight. Went through 2 Gears of Wars in one day or something like that. And then we got halfway through 3, and I just decided to not play it anymore.
Yeah. 3, which
even
is
though
sad,
Gears
3 was the best one in my opinion.
That's a lot of people's opinions, I think, but I don't know. Gears 5 was coming out, and I was excited to play it. And then when I got halfway through 3, we had played so much Gears in like 2 days that I literally just could not deal with how clunky that game is. Like, it just, the cover-based system and the shooting and all that, I couldn't deal with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not excited to play Gears 5 anymore. And I know that's an unpopular opinion. There's a lot of people that love Gears, but not me, man. Not me.
Well, that's the popular opinion about it, is that the mechanics are completely outdated. Like
really? I mean,
there's a lot of people that have your same feeling about like the mechanics of it and how everything moves around. It's very unorthodox compared to every other shooter game.
Yeah, I mean, to throw a grenade, you're looking at like, I don't even know what button it is, but it's not the right button. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, swapping weapons, everything. It's all completely different.
Yeah, for sure. Talk to me about these puzzle games, though. Because I can get down on a puzzle game. I know I gave you a heads up on Turing Test, which was a phenomenal puzzle game.
Yeah, I grinded that out in like a day. That game was awesome. Super makes you you got to think a lot playing that one. Also played Hue. Hue was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
So what's the deal with Hue though? Like, I noticed it's like a puzzle level based type of game, but I was watching a little bit of it when you were playing, and you have to like switch the colors around or something like that. Like, I didn't understand all of it.
Yeah, there's like a weird backstory to it about how like you're trying to find your mom or something like that. She's like stuck in like a color that you can't see with your eye. So you have to go through and collect all these colors on this color wheel. And then each puzzle, like the obstacles and stuff that you have to get around and moved, are colored with your color wheel. So if there's an obstacle in the way, you had to change. By changing the color on your color wheel, it changes the background of the game. So say there
Got it.
was like a red laser that you had to get through. You'd have to change the background color to red so you can walk through. And it gets really hard by having to move boxes around and all kinds of different variables that made it really difficult.
Yeah, it looked really confusing. Teeter, have you
Yeah.
ever seen that game, Hugh? Like,
No.
not just like looking at it in the Xbox store, but like actually looked at gameplay.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not really into puzzle games. Like, the only puzzle game I've ever played was Unravel 2. I enjoyed that
Which
one.
was a great game, by the way.
It was.
Is it?
Me and an ex-girlfriend like beat it, but like
I
other
should
than
play
that,
that.
that's like the only puzzle game, hardcore puzzle game.
So Unravel 2, Kyle, is phenomenal. It's a side-scrolling puzzler, and it takes place in like a lot of different settings, and you're this little ball of yarn, and you can play it with a second person, and then they're also a ball of yarn, and you can like link your yarns together to get through these puzzles. It's really cool, and you can like wrap your yarn around different places and sections of the map. It is a really good game with an awesome art style. Like,
That's pretty
definitely
cool.
one of my favorite. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite games that I've played over the last year. Like little indie games.
Can you play it solo? Like single
Yeah,
player?
you can. Yes, you can, and you actually there's parts where you have to control both yarns. So you have like you would control one, and then you would press a button to switch to the other yarn and get them into a specific location.
Okay.
And then shoot the yarn down, or like you would control both yarns in certain situations. So
Gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of like that other game that I was playing. It's a little more childish, but it was still pretty challenging. It's called Max: The Curse of Brotherhood. And what happened with that was like what were you saying?
I was gonna say, is that Jimmy Neutron game? Looks like
He
Jimmy
looks
Neutron, the
the kid
character.
looks like Jimmy Neutron. Yeah, it's cool. Like you're
That's
trying to save
awesome.
your brother that got like sucked into this crazy world, and you get like this magic marker. So like, and your marker works with the environment. So like, you had to, you know, like climb trees and stuff like that. You had to draw vines to swing from, or make like little waterways that would like push you through different things. And there were certain parts that were challenging, made you think about how you have to get across whatever you had to get across. It
Yeah,
was fun though. It was pretty fun.
yeah, it looked really cool. And these games we've been talking about have all been on Xbox Game Pass, which is really awesome. Like, I can't get over what Microsoft has been doing over the last like 2 years to really, I don't know, they're building this foundation of services that I think going into the next generation, they're actually going to be the leaders. It's just my own personal opinion. I know people would say that PlayStation is maybe leading the pack right now, or at least for this generation. But I think the next generation is really going to be taken over by Xbox. Their services are just like unmatched, really.
I agree with you on
What do you
that
guys
one.
think of it?
I felt like
Yeah.
on the beginning of like the PS4 and Xbox One like generation, whoever was in charge of Xbox, whatever, like social and store and you know what I mean, like those kind of services, like they really were none. And PS4 really just did drive to like set like a standard and a bar that should be expected of like live services, other than just like getting on and playing with your friends on AAA title games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like PlayStation really did a good job of reaching out or giving the opportunity for indie studios to like put their titles on the PlayStation. Like I know there was one game that was kind of like fell through the cracks that no one I know play. It was called Paragon. It was made by the same people that made Fortnite. It was kind of like
Oh, really? It was an Epic?
Yeah, it was kind of like League of Legends, but it was like a third person like shooter style of like League of Legends. It was pretty fun.
That
And that was free to play.
sounds cool.
Yeah, it was free to
Oh,
play.
it's free to play now. Okay, or it
No,
was
it was
free to play at launch.
Yeah, no, it stayed free to play forever until Fortnite got like super gassed up and like got, to the popularity level that it did, and then Epic shut down like all of those like games and stuff like that to focus like all the time and effort and money directly into Fortnite.
Well, that bet paid off. It sounds like Fortnite is the biggest game I think we've ever seen. Just I know you're young, Teeter, but like you've watched games, I'm sure, probably your whole life, and I've been playing games since like Super Nintendo, and I've never seen anything like Fortnite. The ability for a game to just dominate for years. I mean, I think the only one that even comes close is probably GTA. I mean, that GTA 5 has been so good for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years.
That's true.
I mean, cross-platform even. I mean, GTA 5 launched on 360, so Fortnite and GTA just, I think, definitely are fighting over the crown, and Fortnite, I think, right now is probably winning, but I don't know. It's actually good that you brought up Fortnite, because I want to bring up something that I thought was pretty interesting, and I know we talked a little bit about it off air, but Ninja signed a deal with Adidas, and to me, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it's a signal for the future of gaming and gamers in general. I mean, I think streaming and content creating is something that a lot of people are and younger people in particular are very interested in doing. They feel like they can make some money at it, have a career at it. But this deal with Adidas is the first of its kind. Adidas sponsors different esports teams, but have never gone out on a limb and sponsored a single gamer. So for them to pick him to represent them in the gaming space is just honestly incredible, because it really is going to open the door for other big streamers to sign other big deals with, whatever brand. I mean, the ones that come to mind are, like Dr. Disrespect. What deal is he going to get in the next couple of years? I mean, I think it's just like the door is just barely cracked open, but it is open, and now deals can start flowing with some of these really big streamers, and then that'll trickle down to smaller brands and smaller streamers. So I just feel like, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but it just feels like something that it's like a defining moment for the gaming industry. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, dude. I think that's crazy, actually. Somebody, especially somebody who's been like streaming video games for so long, right? Like before Fortnite, like he was playing like World War Z on stream and stuff like that. Like wasn't that big?
Halo, yeah.
Halo, like everything.
He was a pro Halo player too.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. And Fortnite came out and he
blew up. Insane. I mean, blew up to like the nth degree. It was it was insane.
Biggest, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy about that deal with Ninja. I mean, Ninja's not just like a streamer. Like, I don't know. I would say that's like I would say his hobby now, but it's just like it's almost like as if he's like a poster child of like streamers. You know what I mean? Like if you were if I were to tell my mom when I was like 10, like, I'm gonna be a professional streamer and a gamer, you know what I mean? You'll just get laughed at. But like he's such a big name that even like people of older generations, you know what I mean, like know of him in like esports.
Yeah.
Like he's growing the online gaming, streaming, like everything to like a whole different level. That's actually like, realistic goal in mind to be as successful as him. It's like, your favorite pro baseball player, basketball player, whatever sport, but he's like that for like all the hardcore gamers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
To look up to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's weird too, because there's obviously there's lots of fans of sports teams, right? There's America is one of those places where there's just tons of fandom with every single sport. I think even soccer is growing a little bit after some of the success over the last couple of World Cups that we've had. But gaming is one of those things that sort of used to be taboo, at least when I was younger, and then it's slowly creeping into the mainstream. And I think it's almost there now. It seems like you can openly talk about gaming, or if you love gaming, you can openly talk about it with people in your community, and it's not something that you feel like embarrassed to say, like, oh, I like Fortnite. It's not. It doesn't seem like that embarrassing thing anymore. It's actually it's just into the mainstream, and I think he's a big reason why.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day I was scrolling through the TV and there was a Rocket League tournament on the TV, like being broadcasted.
No way.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's crazy.
That is insane. I didn't see that.
I forget what channel it was on, but yeah, I was just scrolling through and I was like, what? Rocket League on TV.
That's wild. I didn't know that we were televising events like that. I mean, I think you can probably find some of the Call of Duty like World Championships somewhere on TV. But I didn't realize Rocket League had made it there. And I don't know, I don't play Rocket League, so I'm not familiar with that community, but it does seem like it's a dedicated community at the least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. So is Smash Bros. The new Smash Bros. There's a huge competitive scene for that. Like,
that's
giant
insane.
Tournaments and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane. That actually, I don't have this topic written down, but I definitely wanted to talk about this. You just reminded me. Smash Brothers makes me think about like retro gaming and stuff like that, even though it's not necessarily retro. But it makes me think of that stuff. And one of the stories that I saw recently was that GameStop is going to be closing down a bunch of their stores, and then they're going to be remodeling a bunch of their other stores. And what they're doing is they're kind of leaning into the retro gaming scene. Like they're going to have like old-fashioned CRTVs and like actual like retro systems that you can go in and play. They're like completely remodeling it, and they're making it more of like a hangout type of thing, but they're leaning into retro gaming, which is kind of interesting.
It's kind of cool.
Let me ask you, is that going to bring you guys into a GameStop?
No.
I don't know. I don't even know the last time I was in a GameStop. But I mean, that's an interesting idea. I mean, like, last time there's anything like that, especially around where we live, is, Toads.
Toads, right. Is Toads still a thing around here?
No.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Toads closed down like years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So what you're saying about GameStop? So what you're saying about GameStop, is that going to turn into like almost like an arcade almost, with sort of just like gaming and like a cafe type of thing?
No, I don't think so. I think what they're still going to be a retail store. I think they're still going to sell regular merchandise, like some of the gaming Funko Pops and games. Obviously, if they want to keep if they want to keep some of the attention of console gamers, they're gonna have games in there. But I think they're adding like couches or chairs and old TVs and old consoles, so that you can go in there and you can play these things, and they're gonna sort of cater to those customers. The reality is you can't get a cartridge version of Super Mario 3 digital. Like, that's not a thing. Retro gaming is one of the last sort of genres that you can't really take digital. I mean, people can like remaster the games and then release them in bundles. Like, we've seen some what was that release like a few years ago? The mini Super NES came out, where all the games were kind of like in the package in that system. I don't know if you guys saw that, but you can do that, but you can't like really get a digital copy of an old retro game, like a cartridge game. So I think they're really just trying to like, this is like their last idea, their last big change before just completely going out of business. I mean, like you said, Kyle, I can't remember the last time that I went into a GameStop for something and then walked out buying it, whatever it was. So
yeah, I don't know.
Teeter,
Wondering, like, I don't know, like you're just vaguely touched on how you're saying, like, I can't remember the last time I was in a GameStop. Just like with all the, as technology goes on, a lot of people are just sticking this downloading digitally. You don't have to worry about scratching your disc, losing your disc. If you don't want it on your hard drive anymore, you just delete it. Wow, you can just, re-download it right there and then. It's a lot easier. Plus,
I know.
you know what I mean? It carries over. For like the 360, like if you got like GTA 5 on the 360, you don't have to go and buy the Xbox One disc. It's just download. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That is so convenient. Like, I just love that about gaming nowadays. Like, I said I couldn't remember the last time I went into a GameStop, but I can't even remember the last time I bought a physical copy of anything. Like, any game at all. I don't even remember the last one I bought. Everything I have is digital. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's just a weird change. And I think GameStop is, I don't know, they're trying, but, and I hate to see a big company like that, like basically the last game store that we have, going out of business, but I don't shop there, so it's not even like I support them, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, when you bring in a game and they want to give you $5 for it,
True.
$5 if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah. It would have to be Madden 20 right now, like, and then they would give you $5.
Bro, that's not even true. You can buy an Xbox One, walk out the door, turn back around, just trade it in. It would be like $10.
You're like, sorry, this is used. I can only give you $30 for this brand new Xbox One X.
This is the same guy that run you out.
Yeah. Sir, I don't know what you did with this controller, but it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to plug everything in, make sure it works.
Ridiculous. That's another thing. Why are games still $60? You know what I mean? Because it's not like you're paying for the disc, the case, the artwork on the covers anymore. Like, who sets the prices that are like $60 games? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a lot of work goes into the game, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know, but like, it's not like I don't know. I thought like I was reading somewhere like the Xbox, like the store was trying to push for like cheaper prices because, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember reading or hearing that like what's like the $60 game point or price point is like the stores themselves. You know what I mean? It's like a car, like a dealership, like the MSRP could be like $48K, but the dealership can mark it up to $55K if they feel like it,
Yeah, but I would believe that. Yeah, I would believe that actually, but if all the games were like different prices, like if you went to Walmart and it was like $50, but then you went to like GameStop and it was $60, I could see like, okay, now the retailers are all setting their own prices and they get a certain margin and they can compete. But honestly, I think the publisher of the game is setting the price. And I think the gaming industry as a whole has sort of like have this backdoor handshake agreement that games are worth $60. And the ones that are not $60 are like either free to play or they're like an indie game, like some smaller game,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a weird thing. You're right though, like if a physical game is $60, why is a digital game worth $60? Like what happens when you don't have good internet for that day and you can't sign in and you can't use your game? Like, I guess if you had a physical disc, you could still play offline, right? But if you can't sign into your account through Microsoft, like you literally can't access any of your games. And I knew this was going to happen.
You went quiet on us.
I let my controller turn off, which was awesome.
She did.
And now my partners
went
can't
quiet.
hear anything I fucking say.
There you are. You're back.
What happened to you?
Oh, I just let my controller turn off, so it went to sleep, and then you couldn't hear me at all.
Gotcha.
But like I was explaining to Kyle at the beginning of this, the podcast could still hear me talking, but you guys couldn't. So
Gotcha.
Anyway, let's move on to Apex. Teeter, you had mentioned that you had been playing Apex and Borderlands, and so I want to know what your thoughts are on Season 3, just kind of like as a whole. What do you think could be changed, I guess, for the better?
Man, that's pretty tough. Haven't played in a couple days. Well, I don't know. I have to think about that for a second here. Well, I first off, I don't like the map. Like, it's definitely not my favorite of, I guess, how they designed it. They really
it's pretty,
pushed,
though.
yeah, it's definitely pretty. Like, they did a good job of, like, the visuals and stuff like that, and just, like, your surroundings. It's nice, like, for a change of scenery. But in terms of, like, how they forced, like, a meta, like, how hard they did, like, other games force metas all the time, like Rainbow Six Siege, like those kind of like hardcore, competitive style games. But when they do that, and then they add to the sniper collection, the charge rifle, as we talked about earlier, it's just
Yep.
It's hard for like people that just want to like just jump in and have like a good time, to those people that like continually play this game like hours every day. They're like competitive and stuff like that. Like there's definitely an edge to those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yep.
And like a certain play style. Like what about those people that just like the close quarters all the time? And like to get to that close quarter stuff, you have to land there, which is the only place for good loot. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Go ahead, go.
I was just gonna say, I feel like they, the reason why I really liked Apex was because of how fast paced it was. From the second you land, the whole time you're moving, you're killing, you're going, all the way to the very end. And then with the new map, they like slowed the game down like half almost. Everything, like, just to get from one section where there's fighting to the next section that there's fighting, there's so much just land that you have to cover with nothing in between, so there's going to be no people there. And trying to get there, there's people, maybe hiding off on the sides with snipers and stuff. But it's slowed down the constant action like a whole lot.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I think you guys are both right, actually. There's just like, it's weird. It's like they wanted more sniper action. And like, I don't know if you ask like the general gamer, do you want to just like be afraid to be sniped all game long, or when you're moving between main areas, do you want to be afraid? And I think most people would say no. Like, I don't know. I think you're right. What Apex did really, really well was close, maybe medium range as well, but mid to close range combat that is so fast paced and twitchy, and it felt like a twitchy shooter game, but in a battle royale setting. So to me, although I love Apex, I think it's still my favorite battle royale game. Yeah, I kind of didn't have as much fun. I like it, definitely, but I just didn't have... I'm noticing that I'm not having as much fun as I was in Kings Canyon. But I do like the refresh of a map. I like something new. I don't know how long we're going to be stuck on this map before they open it up and allow us to use both maps. I think that was a mistake by limiting it to just the one map and not having some sort of rotation. I think people were bored of Kings Canyon, but also, everybody was looking for something new. We want a new map. And of course, they wanted to create a new experience. They don't want to just duplicate Kings Canyon's experience, so it is different. But don't take away the old one. I still want to play Kings Canyon. Kings Canyon plays really fast. No matter where you drop, you're going to be in a gunfight pretty quickly. So I don't know, but I am having fun with Season 3. I like the rewards a lot better than Season 2. And Season 1 was absolutely horrendous. So I think they're improving, which is nice. But it feels like baby steps, right?
Yeah, like Apex is definitely having some like growing pains. They're definitely trying to figure out the community and like what they want. You know what I mean? Like, so like the first map, Kings Canyon, as you're saying, was like very fast paced and like small, constant fighting. Well, this one has a little bit more distance. Maybe the next season or whenever they add a new map, maybe it'll be like a good blend. You know, it would have its sections of small and medium, where it has like some long range, sight lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Ko?
I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay.
I was just agreeing. Yeah, I like the old map. The old map was good. I'm still enjoying, even with the new map. It's just slower pace, which is the only thing that I don't care for as much, is how much slower pace it is. They really cut it down. Like, so now it's just, I don't know. It's harder to get right into stuff. Like, before you were just one fight, you quick loot and you're immediately shooting another team, or you can get to the gunfight that you hear like instantly. Like, you can get there real quick. Whereas this, there's like weird terrain you gotta try to navigate, and it's really each like location of like set like areas are very spread out. It's harder to get to the gunfights, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was just me getting used to a new map and new terrain, but after playing like a significant amount of time that first week when it was out, like I got used to knowing where things were and the terrain and all that, and I still trip over stuff. Like, there's times where I'm just like running and like all of a sudden I'm stuck because there's a little rock in front of me. I'm like, yeah. God dang it, like what the fuck is this? You know, I need to get out. Like, I have to like jump, and then I don't know. I get flustered in that map sometimes because of all the terrain. It's very different, you know? Maybe I'm just being stupid, but I don't know. It just feels like in Kings Canyon, like, even after the Leviathans stomped through and like changed everything, it still felt good and clean and fast, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the main reason I liked it.
Now we can't even find the doors.
Like now we can't even find the doors.
Oh my god, I'm such a Doug for that, dude. I run circles around buildings. Like, how the hell do I get in this place?
Where's the door, dude? It's funny. I've landed on the opposite side of the door like at least 80% of the time that I drop. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That's why we just started dropping the same spot, as we know where the doors are.
Yep, exactly. We know. Well, most of the loot's outside. Actually, there's a lot of supply bins in that location. So.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about the charge rifle? Because that was introduced this season too. What's like for me? I'll just give you my thoughts real quickly. I like the addition of a rifle like that, where it's kind of like this long, rangy, sort of slow firing rifle, but it feels a little bit too powerful. I'm not very good at using it yet, so I'm just on the short end of the stick like most of the time. What are your thoughts, Teeter? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit too strong. There definitely is a learning curve with it, because you have to be good at aiming and tracking your target. Adjusting for how fast they're running the terrain. But if you have like a guy sitting back while like the rest of his two squad mates are fighting, it definitely wrecks. Like a full blast, or even just a little bit of the laser, pretty much almost takes up like your whole shield. It's ridiculous. And if you have like a whole squad that has charged rifles, like hitting you from afar, you're a goner.
Oh, that's ridiculous. The memes on Reddit are wild right now for charge rifles. I mean, it's just the whole community is complaining about it. It seems like, I'm sure there's a handful of people that like the charge rifle. At least they like using it. Maybe not. Maybe they don't like getting it used against them. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I also tend to lean when I'm requesting a change from a developer. I tend to lean towards adding a counter instead of nerfing the item, whatever it is, because then it kind of just changes the meta and it'll incentivize people to not use that as much. And that seems to be a better strategy. I like when they do that, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it needs to be nerfed, or?
I don't know what they'll do to counter it though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if they keep the charge rifle that strong, they should buff the other snipers, because I mean the longbow is pretty much garbage. You know what I mean?
Dude,
no one uses it anymore.
Is trash. It's trash now.
Yeah.
The triple
my
tick's
opinion.
okay because you have the precision choke. You know, you could charge it up and do a lot of damage, but like the longbow is just, I don't know.
It's the other thing about the charge rifle, dude. There's like 0 range drop off. You get the gold 15x on it, you can get somebody across the map, dude. It's a laser. It just goes straight at them.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yeah. I don't know. I think my problem with the charge rifle is that I've never actually picked it up and looked for a scope for it. And I just use it like iron sights, and I'm like, God, I can't hit anybody with this thing. So I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm being stupid, but
yeah,
it seems to me like I'm terrible with it, and everybody else is just godly.
Yeah, you got to really
I feel that.
trace them. If you catch them sitting still and you can hit them in the head, oh man, dude, you get the full burst, the full laser, and the burst at the end. Their shield's completely gone. Doesn't matter what level shields they have.
Yeah, but another thing is the charge rifle is also very situational because if they're like, peeking out from a rock or something like that, you can't hit them with the full burst. You could just get like a little lick out of them. But it's just in that instance, it's the charge rifle isn't good. Any other sniper rifle would be a lot better.
Yeah.
You can hit headshots right there and then. So I mean, it definitely does have its drawbacks to using it.
Yeah, I think one counter to the charge rifle for sure is playing aggressive. Like if you can close the distance on someone who's using a charge rifle, and then you can attack them with an R99 or even like an RE45, I think your movement will be a very good counter to how long it takes to like spool up that burst, and they would really have to track you really, really well at a close range. I just don't think it's meant for any of that type of fighting. Unfortunately, the map doesn't offer a lot of close range fighting. Most of the time when you're getting hit with a charge rifle, they're like 300 meters away. So it's going to be, it's tough. It's really tough to counter, I feel like.
Yeah, I think the charge rifle wouldn't be as good just if they had it on Kings Canyon, just for that reason of there's not as much open and distance. I feel like if they left the gun the exact same, but they brought it into Kings Canyon before we had this new map, I don't think people would be complaining about it as much.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. All right, did we hammer Apex into the ground yet? Have we hit everything? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with Apex before we move on?
Not really. I don't hate it. I still like to play it. I mean, I get frustrated at it, but
You like to play it until you drop into 5 different games, landing on a Mozambique and a extended heavy mag, and dying right away.
Yes.
And then you quit, and then you just back out, and that's it. You're done. Well,
exactly.
So the next thing I want to talk about is I want to kind of go through some of the games that are releasing over the next month or so. Some stuff coming out in November, and then I know one of these games we're gonna have to go a little bit more in depth with because we're all fans. But I'm just curious. Number one, if you've heard of any of these games, and then also number two, if you're excited to check them out or play them. So I'll just kind of go through the list. October 25th, which is in a few days, we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare and The Outer Worlds. Have you guys seen anything on The Outer Worlds yet?
Nope.
I have not.
Neither have I, so let's move on. Disney Classic Games, Aladdin and the Lion King, October 29th. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, October 29th. And that's it for October. We've got Just Dance 2020. Oh man, I need to get that game. Do I still have our Connect? Where's my Connect? Need for Speed Heat, November 8th.
I'm excited.
Star Wars. Why can't I talk right now? Star Wars Jedi. Oh my god, please, someone help me. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, November 15th. And then the very last game for November, November 22nd, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. So first of all, of these games, Which ones have you guys heard of?
I'm not too sure.
Call of Duty,
Definitely,
obviously.
yeah.
Definitely Call of Duty. Yeah, definitely Call of Duty.
And Need for Speed. All the rest,
Need for
I
Speed.
don't know.
Yeah, they all seem to be smaller games, except for those two.
Run 'em
actually,
off again?
Jedi. All right, so we got Call of Duty, we got The Outer Worlds, we got Disney classic games, Aladdin and the Lion King, Super Monkey Ball, Just Dance 2020, Need for Speed Heat, Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, fucking nailed it. Sniper, Ghost Warrior, Contracts. So those are the games. The only ones I've heard of as Call of Duty, Need for Speed, and Star Wars.
Yeah. Also, Super Monkey Ball. That was a old game on Wii, I think.
Did you play that? Did you have a Wii?
My cousin had a Wii. I used to go to their house all the time when I was younger.
Oh, nice.
Super Monkey Ball was actually really fun. It was kind of like
The Crash Bandicoot?
What is it? No, it's more like one of those. I can't think of the name of it. There's just a bunch of different game modes that you can play. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a free-for-all, like game modes, all kinds of stuff. I can't really explain it, but make sure it's the same game I'm thinking of. Let me look it up.
Look that shit up, Kyle. I've been waiting all podcasts to say that. I just been waiting to say that because I know you have your computer
Super Monkey
fucking
Ball.
ready to go.
Yep, that was it. That's the game. So you're like these little monkeys inside, like like the gumball machine things that you put the 50 cents or whatever, you twist it out and you get the little guy in the little containers, like a little ball, like it opens in half.
Yeah.
So like your little monkey inside one of those. So there's like different things. There's like different races that you can do where there's like a course made, kind of like a Mario Kart type deal, or you ever play like the marble games? Like you're the marble and you got to go down like the track, like from the start all the way down to the end without falling off the edges.
Mm-hmm.
So there's,
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
so
seen
you can do
those
stuff.
before.
Yeah, there's like different things like that. There's all kinds of different stuff like that. The game was actually really fun. So you're saying they're coming out with a new one?
Yeah, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz HD. So this one is obviously in high definition.
Okay.
It comes out October 29th, and it is $39.96. That would be on Amazon. I don't know what it is on the Microsoft Store because I did not look, but $39.96, and it's on Xbox
price.
One, PS4. It really is.
96. You could round up a couple cents and just be $40.
Well, I'll tell you what.
$39.96.
Nintendo's getting their full $39.99 because it's $39.99 on Switch, $39.96 on PS4 because they want to copy Xbox, and Xbox One obviously $39.96. Seems like a weird one, but anyway, yeah, it looks silly. I don't know that I'm necessarily interested in this. I think I'd much rather race cars and Need for Speed, but
Yeah, I haven't played it since I was younger. It's a really fun like party game, like everybody just kind of
couch co-op type game.
Yeah, you just everybody hanging out, just messing around. It's actually really fun.
Side note, probably one of my favorite couch co-op games of all time. I mean, not counting Fusion Frenzy, like that's obviously the king of couch co-op.
Yeah.
But like second to Fusion Frenzy is oh my god, I'm blanking on it now. Overcooked is a brilliant
I played that
couch
at your
co-op.
house.
Yes.
Yeah, that game was pretty fun.
Teeter, have you ever played that game?
I don't think
Overcooked?
so.
Dude,
What's it
it
about?
is so
Like,
fun.
You cook food?
Yes, you cook food. Yes, it's
Yeah, I know
exactly
what you're
that. So you're
talking about. I know what you're
the
talking
chefs in the kitchen, and you go and you have to like put the ingredients on the table, and the other chef has to grab it and cut up the tomatoes because you're making burgers, and like it sounds ridiculous the way I'm describing it, but it's so fun because things get backed up and your customers get angry, and like it's not like a 9-to-5 job at all, but it's good. It's fun. That was one of my favorite games.
So it's like Diner Dash, almost.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna say yes. It is like that.
It's the same thing, but that's like Diner Dash is like a solo thing. But yeah, I've seen like
Gosh.
YouTubers like Vanos, like H2O Delirious, like play like Overcooked a few times on their channels.
It is so silly. It is really, really silly. I'm pumped, absolutely pumped for Need for Speed Heat. So like, I just can't wait for this game. I really had a great time with Forza Horizon. It was great, but I just miss that like street customization, NOS, underglow, like just that Need for Speed vibe. I just miss that so much. And this game is supposed to be Need for Speed Heat, which is in reference obviously to the cops. You're going to be running from the cops all day long in this game. They've been putting out some crazy videos on their Instagram, and it seems like the game looks insane. Like, I can't wait to play it on the Xbox One X with 4K. It just looks insane. I know, Teeter, you're fucking pumped for this game too.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I love Forza. I mean, Forza and Need for Speed both have like, their place in my heart. I like Forza for like the authenticity of like cars and stuff like that. Like they handle really well. You can tweak like literally everything about the car. But in terms of
Right.
customizing like how your car looks, Forza kind of lacks that in like my opinion, because like for them, like for body kits and stuff like that, it all has to be authentic and has to exist for like those, cars in real life. With Forza, I mean not Forza, with Need for Speed, you can kind of like do some crazy stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's artistic. It's super artistic.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna put a bumper on a Civic, it doesn't matter if that bumper exists in real life. Like, someone in an art studio somewhere made a crazy looking body kit, and you're gonna put it on your car because it looks awesome. That's exactly what I miss about Need for Speed. Kyle, are you at all excited for a racing game?
I haven't played a racing game in a long time. I was really into the Forzas, the Forza Horizons, all of those, but I haven't played one in a long time.
Yeah, I'd have to say same. Since February, which is when Apex launched, I've been ignoring everything. I mean, I was hardcore into Destiny, and then Apex came out, and I just played Apex for like the last 8 months. I'm just barely getting back into Destiny now, and I've dragged you guys back in with me. I'm a little bit. We'll touch on this maybe in another episode, but I want to say this: I'm a little bit disappointed with the Destiny story campaign, the length of it, but it's Destiny. It still feels like Destiny. It still feels like it makes me want to do everything over and over again and get ready for the raid. So I'm happy to be back playing it, but I don't think I'll ever ignore Apex again. I really enjoy that game as well. So I don't know. Last and final topic of the night. We've got about 10 minutes before I want to wrap this up. Call of Duty. It comes out on October 25th. We've got literally 12 days, and it's here. What are your expectations? I'm gonna start with Kyle first. Did you get a chance to play the beta, and what are your expectations for
I did.
the game?
I did not play the beta. I've seen gameplay of the beta, and it looks, from what it looks like, they went back to like the original like Modern Warfare, like COD 4, Modern Warfare style, opposed to like the newer like the Black Ops and stuff like that. Like the style of it, of the maps where it's not really set. Like there's almost every building it looked like you were able to get into, every window you were able to see in and out of, opposed to like the Black Ops games and stuff like that, where it's kind of set where you're able to go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like this one seems like a more open layout. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to play it. Looks fun.
Yeah, I played the beta. Teeter, did you play the beta at all?
I did.
Oh yeah, you played with me a little bit. I remember now. Give me your thoughts on the movement, because I know we kind of talked a little bit off air about this, but talk to me about the movement of this COD versus what was the last one you played, World War II? Or did you play? No, you played Black Ops 4.
All of them. Yeah, I played all the Call of Duties. The movement, I don't know. I would say like running, sprinting, whatever. It feels pretty good. I think they added, what was it called? Is it like double time or something like that? Like you could have like that really quick burst of like sprinting. You know what I mean?
I don't know that I took advantage of that feature, but go ahead.
Because I know like there's a perk or whatever you could do that, which is pretty cool. Like jumping, sliding, it feels really well. But just like running around, just like traversing the map, it just feels kind of weird. Like I don't know if it's because I didn't like get to sit down, play with it hours and weeks, months, and really get like used to it. But it's just something about it that just feels like off and like kind of like clunky. I don't know if it's because it's a beta. You know what I mean?
Did it not feel like Call of Duty?
Huh?
Did it not feel like Call of Duty?
I felt like Call of Duty, that's for sure. I mean, Call of Duty will always feel like Call of Duty, but it's just like something about just the way you just like moved. Like how it felt like when you're controlling your character with like the controller, it just felt weird. Like I couldn't be like as accurate as maybe the other Call of Duties. And
yeah, I can speak to that a little bit because I did get a chance to play quite a bit in the beta. It felt like Call of Duty, but slower. Like I even was messing with like my sensitivity and all the settings that I could think of to make it feel a little bit faster, and it just felt slow. Like you just were moving slow. And I don't know if they made a little bit of like a few changes just to make sure that like there's an even playing field with keyboard and mouse and PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Like I don't know if there was something behind the scenes that is maybe a little bit above my pay grade, but like it just felt slow. You just felt like you couldn't move like you normally move in a Call of Duty. And like the guns all felt good. The sound design was phenomenal. I don't know if you noticed that, Teeter, but the sound design was phenomenal with the gunfire. I thought it was excellent. Footsteps were excellent. Like I could pinpoint where people were, but it just didn't feel fast. And I just remember back in like the Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2 days where everything was just so fast. Like if you had good reaction time, you were going to win the gunfight, and well, you had to be accurate too, but like it just didn't feel like that. It felt a little bit more tactical.
That's very true. Yeah.
It just didn't feel like original Call of Duty, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I haven't played. I played Black Ops 4, and that felt to me, Black Ops 4 felt a little bit more like Call of Duty than this one did in terms of the speed of the game. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still excited to play it. I still pre-ordered it. I still paid full price for it before the game came out. So I don't know. I'm not trashing it. I still want to play it because I've played every other Call of Duty.
Me too.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just saying what you were saying, like describing it, like that's what I meant by from watching gameplay of it. How it looked more like COD 4. Like there hasn't been a Call of Duty that's played like COD 4 since that. Like just regular Modern Warfare. They've all kind of they've all kind of evolved into that like more like faster pace and like set design map with they built the choking points and what buildings you can get into, and there's only one staircase that leads to this part, you know what I mean? Whereas this one, like COD 4 was really tactical and more open like that, and that's just what I noticed from watching the gameplay of it.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't get a chance to play COD 4 when it was out, but I played it later on after I'd already been a fan of all the other Call of Duties that had come out after that. But when I did go back and play COD 4, you're right. There is like you can get into anything, right? The windows are all open. There's a lot of room for flank routes, and I mean it's not just this like 3-lane rush at each other map. And I don't know where they decided to go that direction, but I mean, it was fun. I still loved Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. It's a couple of my favorite games. But like, I don't know. It seems like they've definitely gone back to that. Now that you say that, I recognize it. Yes, it is just like COD 4, like almost identical.
Yeah, like we played it, right? Because I know I played it. I don't know if I played it with you or not though. Like when what was the one? Infinite Warfare came out, and it came out with the Modern Warfare Remastered.
Yes.
Did you play?
That's when I played it.
What you're talking about? Okay, so yeah, so I did
Yep.
play with you then. Yeah, I remember replaying it then, and I was like, man, it's so different from like all the Call of Duties that we've been playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It
Which
just
is why
feels
I'm excited
totally
for
different.
the new one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they have that in that new Call of Duty that's coming out. What's that one game mode? I think it's Ground War, right? It's like really big maps that are like really like huge. Is it that
Yeah,
one?
it feels like Battlefield a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly like Battlefield. I'm pretty sure I saw like gameplay of Shroud, and there's like helicopters flying around, like people actually piloting the helicopters. It's like, what? What is this?
What?
Yeah, there's tons of vehicles in Ground War. To be really honest with you, I had more fun in Ground War than I had in any other game mode. I did actually. I'll take that back. There was a nighttime game mode that I thought was pretty cool and different, where you would wear like night vision goggles and you could toggle them on and off. And some parts of the map were lit and some parts were very, very dark, so where you had to wear night vision. I
That's
thought
cool.
that game mode and the Ground War game mode were by far the best parts of the beta. And of course, like, it's a beta, right? So we can't really judge the game, but I feel like those two things that were different really got my attention. I had a lot of fun with Ground War. It was absolute chaos. There was, like, you could ride quads, there were tanks everywhere, there were helicopters everywhere. I mean, it was absolutely insane. And there was, I can't remember the number of people, but it was like something like 64 people or something like that, or 80 people, I can't remember. But it was like there would be these like mega fights that were like centered in one spot on the map, and because of the respawn mechanic where you can respawn on a teammate, as so long as they're not within a certain radius of an enemy, you can respawn on that person. People just kept respawning back to that same location, like back to this main fight right in the middle of the map. They're fighting over point C or something like that, but it was absolute chaos, grenades flying everywhere. I thought that was a great mode. And then the night mode, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, Teeter, I think you missed out, because that night mode was actually really fun. If you have your night vision goggles on, you can't aim down sights all the way because obviously your goggles are in the way. So you would actually tilt your gun at like a 45-degree angle so that you can kind of aim a little better and kind of look down the barrel, but you couldn't look down the sights with your night vision goggles on, which I thought was a really nice little touch. Yeah, it was a really, really cool touch. So it was a lot of like close range, fast paced, hip firing. You really, really, really had to rely on your audio, footsteps and things like that to try to locate people. I mean, that was actually a really, really fun mode. I'm kind of looking forward to trying that again and seeing what the final version of that is. But I've never personally played a mode like that in a shooter game before. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Call of Duty. I'm excited for it. I don't know. It sounds like you guys are excited for it as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone who tuned in and decided to watch our very first podcast or listen to our very first Militia Gaming Podcast. But that's it for us. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.